In this tutorial, you will learn how to install CA Service Operation Insight 4.2 when SA Manager and ActiveMQ are remotely connected. CA SOI 4.2 supports decoupling of ActiveMQ server. Let's look into Agenda. The architecture diagram represents the SOI deployment in a distributed environment with one MQ server, one SA Manager, one container, EEM server, database, and two UI servers. CA SOI is deployed in three different systems: Remote MQ Server and IFW Catalyst Container on System 1, Remote SA Manager, CA EEM Server, UI Server, and SQL Database on System 2, UI Server on System 3. The two UI servers are connected to different client systems. The client systems can be Operation Control, Dashboards, Mobile Dashboards, Report Console, USM Web View, and Debug Pages. Now let's understand the flow of each component. MQ Server connects to SA Manager through HTTP connection and IFW Catalyst Container through JMS. SA Manager correlates data so that CI managed in multiple products are managed as one entity in CA SOI. EEM Server. CA EEM provides role-based authentication services for the CA SOI user interfaces and supports single sign-on across most interfaces. SA Store. SA Store is a relational database from which the other CA SOI components retrieve their configuration policy and the read-write management data about the state of services and resources. UI Server. UI Server hosts the user interface applications. The UI Server is hosted within a web server, and you can deploy multiple UI servers in a single CA SOI installation to support load balancing. IFW Catalyst Container. The integration framework, IFW, is the mechanism that CA SOI uses to connect to domain managers and gather CI, service, topology, and state information. Catalyst Container is a lightweight container on which you can host connectors and build connector integrations. Before proceeding with the installation, review the prerequisites. For detailed information, see CA SOI 4.2 documentation. Now let's see the installation of each component. Let's see the installation of ActiveMQ Server. Run SOI setup.exe on System 1. Click Next. Accept the license agreements. Accept the third-party license agreement. For installation of MQ Server, choose the default location, or you can also enter the path and click Next. From the Install Set drop-down, select Custom and ActiveMQ. Enter SOI administrator credentials. You can use default TCP port, or you can also enter a port if the default port is not available. To start the services manually, uncheck the Start the Services checkbox. Review the installation summary and click Install. The MQ Server installation is completed. You can view the MQ Server service in Windows Services. Now let's see the installation of SA Manager, UI Server, and Universal Client. Run SOI setup.exe on System 2. Accept the license agreements. Accept the third-party license agreement. Choose the default location, or you can also enter the path. Click Next. Select SA Manager, User Interface Server, and Universal Client. Browse the LGPL distributed directory. This directory will be available in Disk2 folder in Installation Image, and click Next. Enter SOI administrator credentials. Enter the MQ server host name. You can use default TCP port, or you can also enter a port if the default port is not available. Enter connector host name. Enter the database details on which you want to create the SA store database. Use default ports, or you can also change the default configuration details. However, ensure that you see guidelines from CA support before changing the values. Enter EEM server details, which is used to manage CA SOI users. To start the services manually, uncheck the Start and Services checkbox. Review the installation summary and click Install. CA Manager, UI Server, and Universal Client installation is completed. You can view the services in Windows Services. Now let's see the installation of UI Server. Run SOI setup.exe on System 3. Accept the license agreements. Accept the third-party license agreement. Choose the default location, or you can also enter the path. Click Next. Select User Interface Server. Browse the LGPL distributed directory. This directory will be available in Disk2 folder and installation image, and click Next. Enter SOI administrator credentials. Enter the database details on which you want to create the CA store database. Click Next. Use default ports, or you can also change the default configuration details. However, ensure that you seek guidance from CA support before changing the values. Enter SA Manager hostname and SOI administrator password. Enter EEM server details, which is used to manage CA SOI users. To start the services manually, uncheck the Start the Services checkbox. Review the installation summary and click Install. UI Server installation is completed. You can view the services in Windows Services. Now let's verify the installation by opening the Operation Console and Dashboard. Enter host name, port number, SAM, oneclick.jnlp. The JNLP file is downloaded. The Operation Console should be up and running. You should be able to see the alerts, CIs for all the connectors. Open the dashboard and enter host name, port number, SAM, UI to perform administrator configurations. In this video, you have learned how to install CA SOI 4.2 when SA Manager and ActiveMQ are remotely connected. Thank you for watching.